Good morning, Wayne Transportation. I know this is not the way that we wanted to start our new school year. Definitely unprecedented for sure. I can't have you guys coming back in groups because of our health crisis. So for this year, this is how we're going to open up our school year. So I'm going to record 3 videos on the Safe School, and you'll view the video and you'll take a quiz at the end. And when you get that finished, then you'll get paid for watching the videos and taking the quiz. I have a lot of information to give you, so you might want to take notes while you're viewing this. But anyway, there will be 3 videos. So the one today is just on changes that are happening and what's going to happen when you're on the bus with students. The next video will be new sanitation and cleaning procedures. And then the 3rd video will be procedures for when you're here at base. So just a couple of reminders just to get us started. A new calendar was approved by the school board on Monday evening. So today, and let me tell you, today is the 29th. I'm recording this video on the 29th because it takes a little while to record and get it downloaded into Safe School. So the information I'm giving you today may change by next week. If it does, then I will send out any emails to correct any changes that will occur between now and next week. Hopefully we won't have many. So the new calendar was approved and it is on MSD of Wayne Township. So you can go on and look at that. The biggest changes are that a week was taken off at fall break and a week was taken off at spring break. So we're not working these 2 weeks, but we're going to make these 2 weeks up, like I said, 1 week at October and 1 week in March. So the pay that you didn't get for these 2 weeks will be made up during those 2 times, fall break and spring break, as we're only going to be off a week and not 2. So it does delay your pay. I know that's difficult. It's difficult to process, difficult to hear. But that's kind of what's happening because of the delay in our school year. You'll still get paid for the same amount of days for the school year. They're just going to be delayed. So I know not everyone agrees to how we're coming back, or even that we're coming back. And I know not everyone agrees about the mask mandates, but it is what it is right now with our pandemic and our health crisis. And, we all work for Wayne Township and we have to follow the procedures and protocols and mandates that are put in place for us. It's really not up for debate. It's really not up for discussion. It is what it is. We have to wear a mask when we're on the bus and when we're at base. And I know not everyone agrees to that, but that is what's going to happen here when we're back at work. I want to let you know also that there are no field trips at this time. There will be no field trip scheduled during the day between 9:30 and 1:30. As far as athletic trips, that's still to be determined. They're still working that out. Hopefully we'll have some athletics going on for some 415 and weekend trips, and we'll keep you up on that as we get new information in. I want to take this second also to remind you, you are responsible for Safe Schools training. Besides these 3 videos I'm going to be sending to you, Safe School training, you were sent those videos back in May. You are responsible to get those finished. They must be done by August 31st. I don't have access to figure out if you've watched those or not. HR gets reports about that. If you don't get those done by August 31st, you will be getting an email from HR, as they are mandatory for every employee in Wayne Township to do those videos. Your yellow card training is on your own this year as well. We sent that information out in May. We had hoped that you would do that in May when you were off getting paid. Not many of you have done that. That has to be done by December 31st. We're recommending you get that done before school starts so that that's out of the way. Also, CPR training, if your certificate is 2 years or older, it's expired, you have to do CPR renewal. If you are up for CPR, you received a email from info@hsi.com. It may have gone to your spam. So if you don't see it in your Wayne email, look in your spam. But you are responsible also to get that CPR training complete. There are a few changes to the handbook this year. Of course, there will be a COVID restriction page added to the handbook. Also, we're expecting your emails to be checked daily. That will be added to the handbook. And so we'll get those changes done, and you'll receive an email with the handbook next week. Just review the handbook and then send me back a quick email that says you received the handbook, so I have record that you did receive and read it. So as I said, that will happen next week. Okay, so like I said, this first video is going to be about what's going to happen on the bus when you're with students and transporting students. So most of you know that there has been a change in our attendance. So starting with elementary, K through 6, all students will be back in person. However, 1,600 of our elementary students have chosen remote e-learning. So 1,600 will stay at home and do e-learning. So that's going to lighten our buses quite a bit, we think. Also, we're encouraging parents to transport their own students. Of course, if they can or they don't have access to that or it doesn't fit in their schedule, then students will have to ride the bus. We are expecting less amounts of student at the elementary level. We won't know how much until the first day. You may end up with 50 kids on your bus. You may end up with 20. We're going to monitor that very closely the first 3 days of school and make adjustments and changes if needed. You will be taking ridership counts the first 3 days of school in the morning and the afternoon. Please be very accurate, as I'm going to be reporting those numbers to the Education Center, and then we'll have to make adjustments as needed. At the secondary level, middle school and high school, including Wayne Prep and Sanders, the students will be coming back in a hybrid model. So if students' last names start with A through K, they're going to attend school on Monday, Tuesday. If students' last name starts with L through Z, they're going to come back on Wednesday and Thursday. There will be no middle school students on Fridays. On Fridays, we're going to spend an extra hour kind of deeper cleaning our buses during that time, since we have time. I'm recommending that all drivers get their regular Friday route pay. So hopefully we'll get news on that very soon. I know that's questions that you guys have. All right, so arrival to schools this year is going to look a lot different. So at the elementary level, since they're expecting way more cars and the car line to be a lot longer, they're going to do what they're calling a rolling dismissal. So the first buses that pull in, they're not going to dismiss before 7:10 because teachers will not be contracted to be in the building before that time. But if you get there at 7:10, they'll begin releasing you. So 4 buses at a time will be released. You'll pull off. 4 more buses will be released. You'll pull off. Final buses will be released. You'll pull off. You cannot lay over at the buildings this year because soon as all the buses are off property, they're going to use the bus area for an extended car rider line. As I said, they're expecting the car rider line to be a lot longer, so they're going to have to use the bus area for a second car rider line. So they want all buses off property as soon as possible. So I know a lot of you will pull away and then come back right around to get back on the bus lot. You're not going to be able to do that this year. Also, if you have an emergency and you have to go inside a school building, you'll have to park off property, walk over. You will be screened. So the only doors unlocked will be the front door. There'll be personnel there to greet you, and you'll have to go through a screening before you can get into the building. So get into the building, use the restroom quickly, and then you'll have to get right back out. As most of you know, parents and visitors, volunteers are not going to be accepted into the buildings this year. So drivers, since you're not a permanent daily fixture in that building, you will have to go through the same screening process and procedures as visitors and parents will. I know that's difficult. I know it's going to be a little bit more challenging this year. to take care of personal needs between routes, but we'll make it work. We have to be patient, and we'll make it work this year. Okay, so at the high school, a lot of changes there for when you drop off students. So half the students will be coming. I think that's about 2,500 students on Mondays and Tuesdays that will be dropped off, and 2,500 on Tuesdays and Thursdays that will be dropped off. You will not pull into a parking space when you arrive at the high school in the morning. There is going to be a coned area up by door 2. 5 or 6 buses will fit in there. When you're in the cone area, be looking for direction from administrators on the sidewalk. They'll release all of you. You'll pull away. 6 more will pull up, release. 6 more will pull up. It shouldn't take long because your buses will be half full. So if we're expecting if you have 50 kids on a bus, you'll have 25 or less. So the dismissal procedure should go a lot quicker. So while you're waiting to get into the unloading area, you'll be in a parallel double line, just like you would if you're going through Mike's Car Wash. So you're going to go through, there'll be people there to direct you. You'll be in a double line, you'll pull around. When it's your turn to pull up to dismiss kids, it'll be, like you're at Mike's, one bus, one bus, one bus, one bus. And get in there and unload, and then you'll be able to pull away as soon as possible. We don't know how this is going to go. We've never done this before. Martha Marcus and I will be at the high school on the first day of school, and we will be there to help, direct, and to adjust and make changes as needed. Patience is the key word this year. Schools are going to be doing lots of different things and with their arrival and dismissal procedures, and we're just going to have to be very patient. Some of you won't agree with the procedures. Some of you won't agree with the processes that we're putting in place. That's okay, but we still have to be patient and kind and follow what's been planned. We're all doing the best that we can with what we know right now. So Rhodes Elementary, there's lots of changes for you as well. They're doing a lot of construction there. They're building an additional add-on to the building. And so the bus rider line will be different. You will not park where you parked last year. You're actually going to park across from where you parked last year, where those basketball goals used to be. So that's where you're going to park this year. And then there'll be a road that will take you right out onto Wayne Henry. So you'll just pull in and then go straight off of the lot onto Wayne Henry. So when you come to run your route, either on Monday or Tuesday of next week, I would like you to go to Rhodes and see the new setup. They have drawn the lines for the buses. So the special needs buses, you'll pull up where you used to in front of the building, but the other buses will pull into new designated spots across from where you used to park. You'll have new parking spots in your mailbox as well. Okay, so I think that kind of takes care of arrival and dismissal. And like I said, just be patient. Elementary schools, they're all do it a little bit differently, but the premise is that we're only going to dismiss a few buses at a time so that not all students are congregating and running through the doors of the school. And like I said, it's going to just take a lot of patience, and we'll monitor and adjust as we need to that first week. Elementary, don't forget as well, and you're going to be parked the first 3 days at 2 o'clock. That's not a change for us. We've been parking at 2 o'clock on the first 3 days of school for the last few years. That's so that the kindergarten can get out sooner and you can get to know your kindergartners and have time to verify where they live and where their stops are. So that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 12th, 13th, and 14th, first tier elementary, you'll be parked at 2 o'clock, just like we have done in the last few years. Okay, so let's talk about when students get on your bus. So the mandate is that everyone wear a mask, drivers and students. Drivers, if you have a medical reason and you have a medical statement that says you cannot wear a mask, then we'll have these shields that you'll wear instead. If you can't wear the mask, you'll have to wear a shield. So we have several of these, and we can give these out to just those of you that have a medical excuse. And they just fit like this, and then your face is shielded here. The DOE is not recommending these. but they are allowing them for drivers who have medical statements and excuses only. So if you do, please bring in the statement, and then you'll receive one of the face shields instead. Students K through 12 are expected to wear masks on the bus. Preschool kids are not required to wear a mask. Some may, but they're not required to, but K through 12 are. So of course, these are students. They don't always comply. Adults don't comply. I don't know how we expect students to comply all the time as well. But I'm sure there's going to be incidences and situations when you pull up to a stop, student doesn't have a mask the first day. Kindly ask them where their mask is. If they say they don't have one, you'll have a box of masks you'll be able to give them. So you'll hand out a mask and then remind them tomorrow you have to have your own mask. Masks are very expensive. We're spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on them, and we can't continue to give students a mask every day. We will the first couple days, and then parents will be called. If a student refuses to put on a mask, just kindly remind them and tell them that it is a mandate. They have to wear it. If they still refuse, take their name, turn their name into the building administration at the schools, turn their name into me. We'll call parents and let them know if they don't wear their mask, they can't ride the bus. This is going to take us a couple days to get through that process if there are students who don't want to wear a mask. We're not going to humiliate them. I don't want to punish them. We're not going to call them out on the radio. There should be no radio chatter about masks at all. Just if they refuse to wear it, write their name down and you'll hand their name over to administration. We'll take care of it from there. If you know the parents, because a lot of you are on the same route, you know the students, simply call the parent and say, I really want your child to be able to ride my bus, but they must wear a mask. So if they're not going to wear the mask, they'll refuse to, which if they don't wear it on the bus, they probably won't wear it in the classroom either. They'll simply be asked to go to e-learning. But we'll take care of all of that on a case-by-case basis. So let's see. So don't leave students at the bus stop either. If they show up and they don't have a mask, like I said, give them a mask. But we're taking them in the first few days. Do not leave them at a bus stop. Especially our little ones, if they can't get back into their house and there's no adult, it's much more dangerous to leave them there than it is to put them on the bus. So give them a mask and get them on the bus. We're not going to be taking temperatures of students. I don't know where that came from. I'm seeing it on Facebook. Drivers are asking questions about how we're going to do that. It's never been published from Wayne Township anywhere. It's never been a procedure that we were going to put in place. We are not healthcare professionals, and we do not have time to take temperatures at bus stops and be holding up traffic and so on and so forth. So we're not taking temperatures. If a student appears to be sick, when you get them on the bus, just make sure that you point them out to administration and that they get right to the nurse. If a student gets sick on your bus, it's the same procedures as we've always gone through. We'll get you a mop and bucket, and it'll be the same cleaning procedures. And just make sure that student gets to the nurse. Preschool age students, like I said, they're not required to wear a mask. So I know that's controversial for a lot of people. And like I said, some might wear them and some may not. But at this time, that is not required for them to wear the mask on preschool routes. So I really need you to just be patient with each other, be kind to each other. When you're on the property dismissing students or arriving or dismissing, please follow closely the directives of the building administration that will be on the sidewalk. Like I said, each elementary school will do things a little bit different, and we will monitor and adjust the first 3 days as needed. It should be easier because, like I said, we are expecting less students on the buses for sure at the middle school and high school level. We won't know elementary until the first day. So just report those numbers accurately and we'll take it from there and see what we can do. Seating charts are due on August 26th. This is not negotiable. All building administration has to have an accurate seating chart. So at the elementary level, we're going to sit kindergarten in the front, then first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. If they have a sibling, siblings are going to sit with them. So if a kindergarten student has a sixth grade sibling, the sixth grade sibling will sit with the kindergarten student up front. That's just how that's going to go. We don't want our young ones in the back. So we'll keep them that way, K through 6, unless they're siblings, and then we'll make adjustments with that. At the high school level, they would like us to load from back to front. So we're going to load from back to front. They had originally asked for us to keep the grade levels together, but I just think it's safer for our secondary just to first stop, load to the back, second stop, load in, and so that they don't have to go by each other in the aisles so much. But again, we'll have to make some adjustments to that as well. So at the secondary level, you'll have 2 seating charts, one for Monday, Tuesday, and one for Wednesday, Thursday. So students that are last name A through K, remember, they'll be Monday, Tuesday. L through Z, they'll be Wednesday, Thursday. We're not making adjustments to our routes. So elementary, even if students aren't riding and there's no student at a stop, we're still going to go to that stop every day, because in 9 weeks, parents have the option of bringing the students back to school. So they'll eventually probably be back on the bus this year. So we're going to keep the routes the same. And also you'll get new students who may be at those stops. So you'll go to you'll just do your regular route every day. Even if you know students aren't at a stop, you stop, put your stop arm out, and continue, so that we keep the timing right. And we don't alter the routes at all. At the middle school level and high school, same thing. Even though the students L through Z won't be on your bus on Monday and Tuesday, we're going to continue the same route. You'll go to all the same stops, put your stop arm out, and continue and keep your route consistent, because eventually those students will be coming back on your bus. We're not going to alter routes or times. So special needs will be a little bit different. You'll just have to adjust your route Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday. So, the SPED students, 7th through 12th, they're coming back in the same model. So A through K will be Monday, Tuesday. L through Z will be Wednesday, Thursday. So since those are specialized door-to-door stops, you'll need to figure out which students based on the alphabet are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and which ones will be Wednesday, Thursday, and then adjust your route from there. The same will be for Wayne Prep and Sanders. They're all following the same alphabet, consistency throughout the township. So just remember, don't change your route. Just keep driving your route. Like I said, on Fridays, you won't have middle school or high school students. We're going to spend an hour on Fridays, just a little bit deeper, cleaning our buses, spraying and wiping seats, and just sanitizing all areas. And so like I said, the rest of your pay for Friday, I'm hoping and have recommended that it stay the same, because eventually those students are going to come back and you'll be working full-time on Fridays again. Ridership, like I said, we're going to take ridership numbers. Please be accurate the first 3 days of school, morning and afternoon. If you have questions about your SPED routes, please get with Martha. She'll have more details for you. So that's all I have for this portion of coming back to school. I know you'll have questions. I know you'll have concerns. I know there's areas that I've missed that I probably haven't addressed, even though we've tried to think of everything. There's so much going on and so many changes. I'm sure we've missed some things, and I'll follow up on email for things that need to be restated or said. So like I said, if you have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to ever contact me, Martha, or Marcus, and we'll try to get your questions answered. So like I said, there is a quiz after these videos, so please take the quiz so that we will be able to get that documentation that you've completed it, and then we can get you paid for these couple hours, okay? All right, we'll look forward to seeing you guys soon, and the next 2 videos should be available for you as well. Thank you.